going on, everybody? Welcome to the Filsinger Games Character Spotlight with Mike and Brock.
Mike,
I'm Brock, and tonight we're going to wrap up Classics 2074 with Torin Caelum. Ooh, look how quickly that one focused. In Santon, the Loner.
let's start with Santon.
Here's Santon. He's got a sword. He's ready to fight. I like that mask, that look. It's different.
Well,
Like,
it's almost like the executioner's mask.
yeah, he's ready. He's ready to fight.
Yeah, this is a Bendis art.
Mm-hmm. Bendis did the 2074 set. I think it's some of his better work, honestly.
Yeah.
This set as a whole. There we go. Back in focus. Yeah, this guy, he's pretty tough, Santon the Loner.
Now, and his finisher is just a straight up pile driver, which I like.
A spike pile driver.
Yep. It's the Jerry Lawler pile driver, as I like to think of it. But I know this upsets Jeff, but I use Santon
It's okay. It's up to you, promoter.
because these sets came out, and I'm like, the ones I can use, I'm going to use.
hmm
So he's been in my Fed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he kept it quiet that he was a gladiator. He was a spy
Yeah,
for the group.
which is neat.
And he finally joined the gladiators this year
Okay.
for me. And he's captured. So he actually worked his way up the ladder. I introduced him in the UWA. Uh, he won their heavyweight title twice, their planetary title twice. Moved up to the NGA. He won the Ironman title. Held on to it for quite a while. And
He
that year, he actually won the Wrestler of the Year just last year.
he's got a very loaded card.
Yeah,
His
he
card
had a
is tough.
surprising record. He was like 20 wins and 4 losses.
He doesn't have a lot of comebacks on his card, a lot of reversals on defense, but it's hard to knock him down. He's got one down on his card with a leave. He's got 2 days on level 2 defense.
But
He's just tough to knock
yeah,
down.
and he can keep you down.
Yeah, he has a death jump at 1, and then out of the ring, and then out of the ring with no choice though, because that could hurt him. But he's got an
Yeah,
A rating, so he's pretty well protected there. Better than a 50-50 shot at staying on offense.
yeah,
But yeah, he's
it's a solid card.
hmm he could compete today.
Yeah, I don't think he might win the odd. I don't think he's not heavyweight champion material.
No, not by today's standards, but he could compete. He could hang with some of the bigger guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
do like his story where he kind of just, flew under the radar as a gladiator. Even though he
yeah.
has a lot, like he has headbanger's ball as one of his moves and stuff. So, but I guess, there weren't many gladiators in 2074 that would know what that move was.
No, and let's see, I had him one, and for me he wrestled both as a heel and a villain because he was trying to get both sides of the camps.
hmm
He wanted all the information, and the gladiators played the long game.
Yeah, they did. Because he didn't officially reveal himself to what, 2099 or something
Yeah,
like that. He was the
and
Minister of War.
now he still wears his mask. He joined him, but he still wears his mask. So I have a gladiator that has a mask on,
Okay.
which for me is something different.
hmm
And but it's funny because I look at his feuds, and he's lost weight. He's lost one, two. So I've had him in my Fed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. He's lost, he's won two, lost four, drew two, but he's got a winning record. He's like 54-18.
Wow.
He just he'll win a title and then he'll hold on to it for a little bit, maybe 3 to 5 defenses and then lose it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, he gets into some feud matches and he'll lose the feud matches, but he wins everything and going up into it. So he's kind of weird that way.
Okay. He's got a B ropes, B turnbuckle, A ring, A death jump. So pretty good on the charts. -1 agility, -2 power.
Yeah,
So this is a solid card. That
it is.
it's got another funny bite to forehead though. I don't know how bad the bite to the forehead would hurt through the mask, but it's on there.
Yeah, I do like using him. He was one of my favorite characters when I had him in my NGA. That's why I was glad he moved up to finally to the Gladiators so they could.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
interesting. What do they have? He's listed at 6'1.5", 250.
I have him at 6'3", 264, so pretty close.
Yeah.
And for me, I have him as a like a strat like because I knew he becomes a Minister of War. So in the group, he's like their master strategist. He's not their leader,
Hmm.
but he's the guy that he's always got a plan.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And I have them. Uh, he'll make suggestions, but the suggestions are followed.
Yeah. So he might be the leader, just not officially.
Yeah, and that's the way I'm running it right now.
Hmm.
And yeah, he's not overly violent. He's only injured 5 people, but he's been injured 9 times. Injured for 9 cards.
Okay.
Injured people for 5 days, and so he's like I said, he's done quite well.
It's another one of
When
those cards that make me want to reboot just to use him more.
yeah, when he started off, I started off in the GWF, and then I did the Fed split
Hmm.
where I created 3 Feds, and then he
Yeah.
got dropped down. And when I started him off, he was the loner. He wasn't. I had him feud another loner by the name of Tex Remington,
There you go.
and Tex kicked his ass from one end to the other. And so I was like, oh, this guy's yeah, he's going down.
Santon the Loner. Yeah, definitely a cool character that becomes something bigger later on.
Yeah, yeah, he's like I said, solid card, good story,
Hmm.
and it's one of these stories where, like I said, you learn more about him later on. He just comes back and surprises you, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
so that was,
Forgot about that guy.
yeah, it was a, a great storyline. Like Tom kept that one in his back pocket for years.
Hmm. So that's Santon the Loner. Then we're gonna move into Torin Caelum. I focused so well the first time I held him up. There he is. There he
I like
is.
this guy. Out of this set, he's my favorite.
He's good.
And it's funny because they're like, yeah, that's at the end of his career. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Why didn't he hang around longer?
Yeah.
He's very good. Now I'm out of focus. There we
And
go.
like, if that's the end of his career, that dude would have been a monster.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah, because he's good. His raw rating is 4950.
Oh,
So
we didn't read the didn't read, but his finisher's the Cobra Clutch.
Calum's grip.
But this is the part that always made me laugh. Is that in 2074, Torin was unfortunately getting past his prime, which just shows what a great wrestler he must have been in the 2060s and early 70s.
Yeah.
He had enough skill in 2074 to challenge superstars like Omega and Morpheus. Honorable and even-handed Torin Caelum represented like Mighty Grogan did the very best that GWF could. And that's all I kept thinking was, holy crap.
Yeah, he's good. Here's what's funny is my brother-in-law and I started playing. We were just gonna do it. We didn't play very long, but we weren't gonna play storylines or anything like that. We just put all the cards out, and he's like a big games guy. Like he looks for like things to exploit. Torin Caelum was the first guy that he picked for his guy, one of his guys. I was like, I
Okay,
didn't even really know anything about him at the time, And then I'm looking like, oh yeah, that card is brutal.
it's very good.
He's got a -3 agility, -1 power. A in all of the ropes all of the all of the charts except for ring, he has a B. He got a 3 disqualification, so he's very rarely going to be disqualified. He's protected on level 3. He'll keep you down. He's got 2 straight through level 3 moves, which is pretty standard at the time. Um, Great defense, hard to knock down. 4-1 pin. I think I said that already. He's got a 3 agility checks on his card, but he's got a -3 agility, so at that time there's not very many people countering him.
And he's got a +3 finisher.
Yep. So he's a stacked card.
Now, I use him. I just brought him in a few years ago. He jumped right into the GWF because I brought him in during the first split. So I did a draft.
Hmm.
And he was part of Johnny Rockets because Johnny Rockets is a good guy manager for me.
Okay.
And he brought him in as an unknown. And he came in as Torin Calum Jr.
There you go. There you go. That's funny. You
And
can do that. It's up to you, promoter.
yeah. And so he captured the CPC heavyweight championship from the CPC guys. So that was his first title. And he's captured the TV title, and then he moved up to the Intergalaxian. So soon he's going to be battling for the heavyweight championship.
Wow. He could win it.
Yeah,
Very good card.
and no, he's never been injured, and he's never injured anybody. He's for me, he's a consummate good guy.
He's
He's
just a
Ricky Steamboat.
he's just a wrestler.
Yeah, basically he's Kurt Angle if Kurt Angle never turned heel.
There you go.
He's a great like I said, just a great wrestler. I would have liked if I would have did a reboot. He's a guy I can see easily contending for the heavyweight championship.
You could build the Fed around him. He could be your centerpiece guy.
Yeah, easy. And the funny part so when he come in, I had him face Janus
Okay.
in a submission battle,
Okay.
and so he lost that feud against Janus.
I'm surprised. I thought he would have beat Janus.
It was probably really close. Um, and then I did something entirely different. So he went on and he faced Mayhem. So you got the
The
consummate good guy
purist.
who never cheats against
Yeah.
the complete reckless.
Uh-huh.
And he lost to Mayhem 2 years in a row. So he didn't win. And then he's like, uh, went up against Splatter
Hmm.
and he beat Splatter though.
Okay.
So he's done, he did okay.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
good
he's
card.
doing okay. Yeah.
It's a good drawing too. Like I said, this is one of Bendis's best sets probably.
Yeah.
Just looking at it again, like I haven't looked at these cards in a long time. That's a good drawing
Yeah.
for your classic wrestling good guy.
It's a solid one.
Hmm. For sure.
I'd and I've said it again. If I'd ever do a reboot, he's a guy that would I'd definitely be pushing for a title.
Hmm. I'm considering it. I really am because I feel like there's so much I missed just
Oh,
trying to catch up to everybody else.
there is.
Hmm.
Especially if you started in 2074 and you know worked your way up. You made every 10 cards a year.
Yeah, maybe I'll wait till they do another couple color sets of the early classics and start there.
Are they going to do that though?
I think so. I don't know. I hope they don't stop after two. But you never know.
Like I said, it's one of those things. Like I I I I like the premise of the early classics
Hmm.
because then you're like, oh, yeah, but how far back do you go?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we've talked about this before. Like the current indie guys could be the beginning of the timeline. Or we
Well,
could go back to like the Gotch era and stuff like that with Legends cards.
but if you read Torin Caelum, he started wrestling in the 2060s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that shows there's a promotion out there in the 2060s.
Hmm. At least wherever he's from.
Sagittia.
There you, we'll start there. Make a bunch of jabronis for him to beat up from there.
So you know, I can't remember. Somebody said, the first alien. I'm like, dude, they were all aliens.
They were. They were. They just don't look like humans, except for a handful of them.
Because I think they said, wasn't Torpor the? Oh no, no, the Mangus,
Yeah, we haven't talked about him yet. He's coming up.
the Mangus, yeah, was the first great alien wrestler. But I'm like, dude, they were all aliens. Like cross
Non-human,
currents,
maybe.
yeah, cross currents, different planet. Commander Sam was from Earth. Santon, alien. Torin Caleb, alien. Omega, alien. Morpheus,
Right?
alien. Bulwark Violet, alien.
Other than Commander Sam.
They were all aliens.
I think they
Even
I think they mean
I was like,
non-human.
yeah, I was like, technically, even Commander Sam's an alien because
Right?
if you're not from Sagittaria, he's an alien.
It's true. I have a whole little alien team in my bootleg fed.
Oh, I ran an alien team. I called them Alienation,
There you go. I call
and
mine Alien Invasion.
they're led by your bootleg.
Hmm. I have his
So,
original sitting here, not his new color version. The original black and white sitting here.
yep, illustrious.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
I have him just. He's, I have that card. He's feuding a GWFZ guy, uh, big fat trucker guy or something like that. Biker. He's another biker.
Motorcycle.
Motorcycle. Yeah,
I think that's what it's there. I think
so
that's a guy.
motorcycle and Man Mountain when he was also a biker.
Okay.
I team him up called Heavy Metal.
Nice. Motorcycle. How would I remember that one?
I, good memory. But since I was going to say, since we'll do the Mount Rushmore, and we forgot to discuss it between us,
Uh-oh.
and I just thought of him like, oh yeah, we Halloween's coming up. Let's talk about our favorite movie monsters.
Ooh, that's a good
It's
one.
something we both know. We both don't need a big
Hmm.
background on.
Hmm. Yeah, I like movie monsters. That's a big sub theme of my NDW if you haven't picked up on that yet.
That's why I got the idea for it. I'll start us off so you can.
Okay.
Okay, my favorite movie monsters. I'm going to start off with Frankenstein's monster.
Okay. The original Universal one.
Yeah, I always thought that was such a cool monster. Even the part where you see, the little girl gives him a flower, but then you see did he kill the little girl? It's one of those things.
Yeah, I think he did.
I think he did too,
Just at
but
the
not
time
on
they couldn't
purpose.
show that. Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't do it on purpose, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he would do it on purpose.
And then he's been redone so many times.
Hmm. But
Like,
they've always kind of stuck with that look though.
yeah, even the I was say, um, the young Frankenstein,
Uh-huh.
you know, the Mel Brooks version. Oh, it's so funny. I've seen it so many times. It's great. Uh, and then you have so many vampires to choose from.
Hmm.
I was big into vampires, but if I have to pick any of the vampires, I'm going to go with the vampires from Lost Boys.
Those were good vampires.
I just thought they were so cool.
Sorry, I'm digging through cards. I was just going to show them while I was talking.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
And then uh, for the next movie monster, I'm going to go with now. It's tough to say if he's a monster or not, but I'm going to go with Godzilla.
he's a movie monster.
Yeah, because sometimes he's a bad guy, sometimes he's a good guy, but the
Hmm.
dude's always destroying cities. So
He's he's the king of the monsters, in fact.
yeah. Uh, I've seen so many, and I probably own about 20 Godzilla movies on either VHS or DVD. I watched
Hmm.
the series on TV, which is actually really good. It's on Apple.
I've heard good things about that. I still have to watch Godzilla Zero or whatever it's called, or Minus
Oh,
One.
that's it's very 1970s.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed it.
I started watching it, and it was when I realized I couldn't watch with the kids around.
Uh,
And it's dubbed very well
yeah.
because I don't have good enough reading skills to keep up with subtitles. But yeah, I always like Godzilla. I don't like the more recent ones, but the classic ones, I think those still hold up. I mean, they're corny and campy, but for what they are, I think they're better than what they're trying to do today.
And then I'm gonna go with the creature from the Black Lagoon
Yes.
because uh, just for the simple fact that what probably one of my biggest fears is drowning.
Okay.
It absolutely terrifies me, to the point where that when I bought a car for years, I wouldn't buy a car with power windows because if it got wet, the windows didn't work and you'd go into your car and drown, so you couldn't roll them down.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I always wanted a window I could roll down and escape from.
Makes sense.
And so it still paranoids me to this day that if I drop, that my wife actually bought me a hand thing where it shatters a window
I've seen those. I've seen those.
because I'm actually that paranoid about drowning. And so when you see the creature from the Black Lagoon dragging people under, I, I think I was like 7 or 8 when I saw it, and it's just traumatized me since.
Well, I have an NDW character based on the creature from the Black Lagoon, Murky Waters, which I think is a personal favorite of yours.
Yeah.
His finisher, going under, which is a sleeper hold, but
And but yeah, those would be my top four. And then my honorable mention, uh, I'm gonna go with the werewolf from Werewolf in London
okay.
because it was the first time I saw a different take because I was so used to the Lon Chaney, humanoid werewolf, and
Yeah.
this was a werewolf that basically a dog.
Yeah, he was cool looking.
And I remember seeing that. I was probably 10 years old when I saw it. It was on
He was
First
huge
Choice
too.
Syndicate. It was, it was such a cool movie. I probably shouldn't have been allowed to watch it, but
Hey,
I grew up with a Generation X parent, so it was just like, yeah, you're good.
it's all good.
So that'd be my five.
Cool. Well, Gilman from Creature from the Black Lagoon is my favorite. That's why this was the first monster adaptation card that I did.
Yeah,
I also like Frankenstein's monster, which spawned Adam Prometheus. This is
and it's
based
not.
on,
Yeah, I was saying it's not Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein's monster.
right,
Those of us who are,
Frankenstein's
are, are into the
Frank
genre.
Frankenstein is the doctor who made him, the scientist, the mad scientist. But my artist Chris Adamants and I, we used the Mary Shelley text from how she described the monster in the original book for how we made him look. So that's why he has the yellow skin and the glowing eyes and stuff like that. So we used that for that drawing. Um, I'm a big fan of the Blob.
Oh yeah, that was a cool movie.
I liked the whole story where it was like he's an alien, basically, or it's an alien.
Yeah,
So that inspired this character that's coming out soon, Jelly Morass. So he'll be out soon. Coming, well, actually, after this drops, he'll be out available from the Skinathon. Um, huh. I'm gonna pick a vampire too. I'm gonna pick a vampire. I liked how Blade did those vampires that with the mouths that opened
oh, that
in
was in part
Blade
two,
2. Yeah. I thought that was a neat take on him. And I also like how Nosferatu looked, like with the pointy ears and the real big like clawed hands and stuff like that.
yeah, that's the original Nosferatu.
Yeah, the German one from
Yeah,
like the old silent film. I think that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. I think I've mentioned more than four already.
like I see guys like now. I'm friends with Jeff Stafford on Facebook. That
Uh-huh.
dude watches like two or three horror movies a day.
He does.
He's always posting. I watched this one, and they're all like if you have Tubi's literally got
Tubi's
thousands
great.
of horror movies,
Tubi is great.
all for like and some are cheesy and corny. They're from the
Oh
'60s
yeah,
and
they're
'70s and
fun.
'50s, so they're
They're
fun
fun.
movies.
For my honorable mention, I'm gonna pick a slasher. My favorite slasher is Freddy Krueger. I like the whole dream thing where he can attack you in your dreams, but not in the real world. But I think that's a
Yeah,
cool little twist. And I also like the Romero zombies. Being a
yeah.
Pittsburgh guy, all those movies were filmed and take place here.
The
I
slow moving zombies.
actually have a slow moving zombie named Romero for my NDW guys. There he's right here.
Yeah, that's one thing I wish they redid. When you see them redo movies,
hmm
I was a big fan of the book World War Z,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but then you see the movie and you're like, oh, this sucks balls.
Yeah,
They did all they did was take the name of the movie. They
yeah,
didn't
they
take the
did.
actual stories.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I didn't like that movie. And I like zombie movies. And zombies were all the rage when that movie came out. Everyone was
Yeah.
super pumped for that to come out. And
Oh, you got The Walking Dead.
uh-huh.
Kevin Butcher's told me that story a dozen times where he saw The Walking Dead, went black and white comic. This is gonna suck.
Yep.
Oops.
I think the TV series hung around a little too long, but the comic knew when to quit.
Yeah, because it's an alien that or alien virus or something that
So yeah, something like that. I don't think I even finished it, but
because all I have from that series is the graphic novels. And I was buying them and I'd buy them from like I'd go to a comic book convention, graphic novel, $10. So I would pick them up. I
yeah,
forget
they
what
each had
number.
like 6 issues or so in them.
And it's neat because if you lay them all out together,
hmm
they form the horde.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I'm like, oh, that's not too bad. Oh, another good vampire. If you're thinking of good vampire, 30 Days of Night.
Yeah, those are cool vampires. That was a comic book too.
Yeah, up in Barrow, Alaska, where you have 30 days of night, so
Uh-huh.
they just take their time
That's
picking
such
you
a
up.
great premise. Like they just take over a town because they don't have to worry about the sun.
Yeah, such a good idea.
Uh-huh. I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah.
My favorite werewolves are from the Underworld movies. I thought those werewolves looked cool.
Well, see, people hated that series. I liked it.
I liked it too. I, I liked it a lot. I mean, it's
Probably,
another one that hung around too long,
yeah,
but that creature that was the vampire werewolf hybrid, whatever that thing was in the first one, that was cool.
yeah.
But
There's lots of cool type movies out there, like
hmm
where people take their different takes on a werewolf, and if it catches on, it catches on. Like
right.
Werewolf in London did the whole dog
Yeah,
werewolf,
yeah.
and then it caught on for a bunch of different movies, and
hmm
then some people brought it back with a standing werewolf, and then other people were like, d- do the dog werewolf. So now it's you have two different types of werewolves out there.
And then you have the Wolfman type where he just gets hairy.
Yeah. So it's a neat idea. And then vampires, my God, there's so many.
Oh yeah, there's so many takes on vampires.
And even Frankenstein, there's a ton of Frankenstein type monsters.
Mummies.
That one good one. I was never big into mummies. I just thought, oh, they move too slow and they could burn really easy.
Yeah. It's all what kind of powers they give them.
Yeah.
There's always aliens. So I'm just shamelessly plugging stuff. We talked about vampires already.
Halloween Hank.
Yeah, and then you got Halloween Hank. You got an orange version, like the original one from 25 years ago. But yeah, definitely, definitely, I could talk about monsters all day. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite things, and that's like the guy who does these drawings for me. His name's Chris Adams. That's his wheelhouse, his monsters and stuff. So many things like lined up, ready to come out at some point, but just put them out a few at a time, and the weirder the better with him.
Yep.
Like this, like a lucky duck or a spotted lanternfly. Those little nuisances. But yeah, monsters. I could talk about monsters all day.
But let's wrap this one up here.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you haven't yet done so, please click that subscribe button. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Comment your favorite monsters below. And if you think I should make a bootleg card of your favorite monster, chances are I might already have artwork for it. Um, Scroll on down to the description below where you'll find all of our friends who make Filsinger Games related content, including the official Filsinger Games podcast Roll Up, the Legends team's Uncharted Territory, Dizzy Dice from Lee Longpre, solo promoter from Grant Pachoco. Grant's also here on YouTube. Dave Little's Heartland Championship Wrestling is here. And you have After Further Review, Brad Plays 81, and Bucky 749. I'm streaming on Twitch. I stream every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. I at least try and get some bootleg wrestling in on Sundays with our Wild Card Championship that's defended every week. So yeah, check that out. And there's also a link if you were interested in any of those cards I showed at BrocsterBuilds.com. You can check those out. Yeah, until next time, everybody, have a great week.
Good night, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving for all you Canadians.